Have you ever wanted to be a cartographer? It's not necessarily something I wanted to do, but I do love maps. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite decorations in our house is this giant map we have in our living room. And today's exercise is going to be inspired by a topographical map. You could do this with any colors that you want to, but I'm going to adhere to that color scheme of blue for water, green for flatland, and then yellow, orange, and red to show higher elevations. And I want to work wet on wet. So I'm just going to spray my page, and then I'm going to use a wash brush to wash across this entire thing so that it's a little bit wet, but not soaking wet. And I'm going to start with the water by putting in a little blue in a couple areas. And then where the blue stopped, I'm going to put in a little bit of green. I'm going to make the strokes that line that blue thicker in some areas and thinner in other areas before switching over to some yellow. Same story here. Some areas I'm going to make a little bit bigger, some areas I'm going to make thinner. I'm going to switch to orange, and finally in any remaining areas, I'm going to add that red in. It already looks a bit like a map, but we're going to add pen details that'll really add to the effect. So we need to either let this dry or make it dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to grab a pen, and I'm going to start by outlining the general shapes of the land masses, anywhere that green meets the blue. Then we're going to make lines kind of similar to a tree with its rings, where we're going to generally follow the shapes. And from memory, I believe topographical maps, the lines get closer together, the more steep the elevation changes. So my first few lines in the plains are going to be pretty far apart from each other, and the lines will get closer and closer together the closer to the red they get. Don't get too caught up in the details, just let everything kind of flow and shape as it should. This is such a fun exercise to get your imagination going. And not only that, it could be a really fun way to teach kids about geography.